Here's Brody Brazil.
I wanted to make this video about a tweet that Joc Pederson sent out the other night. Now, he's a Bay Area native, and this year, he's going to be a San Francisco Giant. Before I get to his words, let's show you the image that was attached. It discusses the 2022 total payrolls for Major League Baseball teams, specifically the top three and the bottom three. As you can see here, the top three being the Dodgers at $270 million, the Mets kind of far behind that actually at $249 million, then the Yankees at $235 million. And then there's the bottom three across baseball, 28, 29, and 30 respectively, are Cleveland at $35 million, the Pirates at a little bit less, $35 million also, and then the Orioles spending $30 million on their players as of right now for this season. And then we get to the words in the actual tweet from Young Joc 650. Embarrassed for your fan base, be better. If you can't, sell your team to somebody that wants to show the fan base and baseball they're at least trying to compete. Sorry. Unacceptable. That's one of those tweets that maybe lacks the grammar, the proper presentation. I don't know. It kind of tells you that it's coming from the heart. Maybe he was really emotional when he sent that. He was feeling it when he sent that. Put it that way. So I'm going to give you now 5 reactions to this very tweet because it's simple at the core, but if you dig deeper, there is so much, so many layers to this perspective. Number 1 being this: baseball is a big business, and I don't ever want the performers to get shorted. Now, what am I saying there? I side with the players. I know there are some out there who say, oh, players of all sports, all professional athletes, they make way too much money. Well, you know what? That's what the market dictates for them. Of course, it's up to them to take advantage of that. And if they don't perform, they will not continue to be rewarded handsomely. I'm also not going to stop right there. I just said the word performers. So yes, the athletes, but how about everybody in a sports franchise who makes the experience? The front office, people who work at the stadium. I mean, literally, if you are a front-facing employee of a baseball team, if you have an impact on the fan and customer experience, you are a performer. So like I said, baseball is a big business. I want everybody that works in baseball to be taken care of. Now, granted, those on the field should have a lot different reward than those maybe with not the similar skill set, or how should I say this? Those on the field have a rare skill set, right? So I understand they should be compensated much, much more. But I want everybody performing to be taken care of to a certain degree. That's my number 1 thought about this tweet. So in terms of monies, when you see a skyrocketing number like those top 3, that's fine. That's how somebody wants to run their business. But here's number 2. The largest payrolls in terms of players on the field for a Major League Baseball team, they don't always have the most success. I mean, we've seen it in recent years. East Coast and West Coast, typically between the Yankees and Dodgers and some others in between. But a lot of times it truly has been the bigger they are, the harder they fall. It doesn't always mean that because you spent a lot, you're going to get rewarded a lot. Prime example, yeah, I know. Look at the Oakland A's. They, over all the years of the 2000s, right, since the year 2000, they've got the 6th best record in Major League Baseball. And we know that they have not been spending to the same clip as the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Angels even, the Cubs. I could go on and on. So let's be clear, when Joc is criticizing some teams for not spending enough, I mean, it doesn't always work out that way. You don't always get what you pay for. Thought number 3 here: can the highest spending teams, those top 3, right? It was the Dodgers, then it was the Mets and the Yankees. Can those high spending teams actually keep their ticket prices affordable? I mean, that is kind of a concern, right? If you get into this mode of, well, we're going to spend a lot, now we need to make a lot so that we can spend a lot more, it's kind of an endless cycle and loop. And the people that get stuck in the middle are the fans. So it's one thing for teams to be spending. That's fine. But if the catch that comes with it is that, well, fans are going to make up the deficit that we now have, like we've increased our payroll by $20 million, who's going to take care of that? Does it come from ticket prices? Where does it come from? That to me is an interesting thought here. Number 4 out of 5, we talked before about performers for the Major League franchise. Is it a little bit tone deaf to be wanting Major League teams spending all this money, hundreds of millions of dollars per season, when at the same respect, we're not really sure how minor leaguers are treated? Now, I get it. Minor leagues, major leagues, two totally different things. But how are minor league teams being supported financially in 2022 and beyond? It's kind of rubbing it in the minor league system's face if you're spending $225 million on your major leaguers, and then you're having your minor leaguers eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches after games because that's all the club is willing to spend on. Right? So, again, big business. I'm cool with that. Spread the love a little bit. And last but not least here, if Joc is talking about how much teams are not spending at the bottom, right? So if he's suggesting there's a cap floor in the next CBA, if he's saying, well, you need to spend at least $100 million, every team does every season. If you're suggesting a cap floor for the next CBA, which now is not for another 5 years, don't you think it's also going to come with a hard cap at the top limit so that teams like the Yankees and the Mets and the Dodgers and anybody else, if they want to spend $275 million by that time, that, they can't do it because the new hard cap at the top is $225 million. So suggesting a cap floor might also come with a hard cap at the top, kind of like what hockey has. The NHL has this. And I would caution any player who doesn't want the hard cap at the top to also be critical of the cap floor at the bottom. So those are my 5 thoughts about this one tweet. Again, there's a lot going on here, and I do support players, performers, for making as much as they can because they are the product. The game is one thing, but the people are the actual product. So I hope players make as much as they can. Performers make as much as they can. But I don't know that everything here in this tweet is lined up the right way.